Good afternoon to everybody listening. For today's Toolbox topic, I will be discussing carbon monoxide. I will start by going over some chemical properties of carbon monoxide, and then I will do some general information about carbon monoxide, and then I will just close up with some questions. So firstly, carbon monoxide's chemical symbol is CO. That means it has one molecule of carbon and one molecule of oxide combined to create carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, tasteless, and flammable gas. Carbon monoxide condenses to a liquid at negative 314 degrees Fahrenheit and freezes at negative 326 degrees Fahrenheit. That means that carbon monoxide has a liquid state that is only 12 degrees Fahrenheit, which lasts from negative 314 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 326 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a very short span. So we mostly know carbon monoxide, and for all practical purposes here on Earth, carbon monoxide is a gas. Carbon monoxide has a molecular mass of 28, while air has a molecular mass of 28.8. So that means carbon monoxide is relatively slightly less dense than air, and it mixes with air pretty well. Carbon monoxide explosive range has a lower explosive range of 12.5% and an upper explosive range of 74%. Compare that to gasoline, which has a lower explosive range of 1.4% and an upper range explosive upper explosive limit of 7.6%. And propane has a lower explosive limit of 2.1% and an upper explosive limit of 9.5%. Notice that gasoline and propane have much lower explosive limits compared to propane or compared to CO, but don't have the range, not even close. CO has a huge explosive range. It's from 12.5 to 74% is a 61.5% explosive range. Gas only has 6.2% range, and propane has 7.4% range. That means that propane can explode under very many different conditions, and it's an explosive threat for much more time when there is a leak. CO's major health analysis, or the one of the big problems with CO is carbon monoxide, is that it is unhealthy for human consumption. That is that at 1,200 parts per million, it is immediately dangerous to life and health. So it can kill you in less than an hour at that range. OSHA has a time-weighted average for an 8-hour day of 50 parts per million. So if you're working, you can be exposed up to 50 parts per million for 8 hours without any serious harm. NIOSH, however, makes that time-weighted average for 8 hours 35 parts per million. That just goes to show that if you got this chemical in the area, that there is a very physical threat to humans. Carbon monoxide has 2% solubility, so that is very low. Solubility with water, very low, 2%. That means that we cannot use water very well to dilute carbon monoxide, which is water is used to dilute other chemicals when there is chemical spills, such as ammonia or CO2. So now some general information about carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is produced when fossil fuels such as gasoline or oil are burned. Every year there are hundreds of cases of carbon monoxide poisoning worldwide, even though it is preventable. It is very dangerous for two reasons. Once in your body, carbon monoxide binds to your blood and reduces your body's ability to carry oxygen to your brain and muscles. You may not be aware of the exposure of carbon monoxide because humans, as I stated earlier, cannot smell or taste or see this gas. Gasoline-powered equipment produces high concentrations of carbon monoxide. Liquid propane is also capable of producing high concentrations of carbon monoxide, and diesel equipment of those produces the lowest concentrations of carbon monoxide. So if we have any equipment that uses gasoline or propane, the exhaust fumes of that would be a source of carbon monoxide in the workplace. To prevent exposure, use powered equipment in well-ventilated areas. Avoid using generators and other gasoline, diesel, or LPA powered equipment indoors. Provide adequate and additional ventilation in areas where the equipment is in use. And use carbon monoxide monitors when using equipment in an area. It's especially important to test air quality in confined spaces. This is one area that, it's always important. It's a must. You must use air monitoring in confined spaces, but this is one of the things we're looking for, carbon monoxide. So now I'll leave you with a couple questions, just some thought-provoking questions to think about throughout the day. What are some sources of carbon monoxide in your work area? Are these sources controlled in terms of exhaust and proper ventilation? And are there any equipment, such as material handling equipment or generators or anything of that nature, that have a need for repair to reduce exhaust leaks in the systems to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning? Okay, that's all from my Toolbox Talk. Again, my name is Gerber, and this is carbon monoxide. Thank you.